Archaeologists have begun a major new excavation of the Roman city of Pompeii. It was destroyed nearly 2,000 years ago after Mount Vesuvius erupted.
Picture this. You're doing some simple home repairs, knocking down a wall in your basement, when suddenly your hammer crashes through into empty space. You peer inside and see stone steps disappearing into darkness. What you've just found will rewrite everything we thought we knew about human history. Today, we're exploring underground ruins that challenge our understanding of the past.
Derinkuyu is this massive underground tunnel system going down 3 levels with many streets, with many shafts and corridors and rooms and caverns that can hold massive amounts of people.
In 1963, a Turkish man in the town of Derinkuyu was renovating his home when he made a discovery that would shake the archaeological world. After breaking through a basement wall, he found a hidden room behind it. Curious, he kept digging. What he uncovered was mind-blowing. An entire underground city stretching 85 meters deep into the earth. But here's where it gets really strange. This wasn't just a simple cave system. It was a sophisticated urban complex with ventilation shafts, water systems, storage rooms, and even churches, all carved from solid volcanic rock. The underground city could house up to 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food supplies. Each floor could be sealed off separately, with massive rolling stone doors that could only be opened from the inside. But wait, it gets even more incredible. This city was connected to another underground city called Kaymakli through 8 to 9 kilometers of tunnels. Archaeologists now believe there are over 200 underground cities in this region of Turkey alone. The question that haunts researchers is this: why would ancient people invest so much effort into building an entire civilization underground? What were they hiding from? And how did they manage such engineering feats without modern technology? The answer to that mystery leads us to our next shocking discovery. In 79 AD, something terrible happened in the Roman city of Pompeii. But what most people don't know is that the disaster created one of history's most perfect underground time capsules. The city was buried under 4 to 6 meters of volcanic ash and pumice when Mount Vesuvius erupted. But here's the fascinating part. The lack of air and moisture under all that ash meant that objects were perfectly preserved for almost 2,000 years. When archaeologists finally started digging in 1748, they found something incredible. Beneath tons of volcanic ash, Pompeii survived almost exactly as it was 2,000 years before, like a snapshot of its last days. Buildings were still intact, skeletons were frozen where they'd fallen, and everyday objects were scattered on the streets. But the underground secrets of Pompeii go even deeper. Archaeologists recently explored and mapped 457 meters of ancient stormwater tunnels beneath the city. These tunnels collected runoff from the heavily trafficked civil forum, carried it underground beneath the busy streets, and discharged it into the Bay of Naples. Evidence suggests the tunnel system evolved over 3 distinct historical periods, meaning these channels served Pompeii residents for approximately 300 years. The oldest parts date back to the 3rd century BC. What's remarkable is that this underground infrastructure was so advanced that the Archaeological Park of Pompeii now plans to bring these ancient tunnels back into functioning condition to deal with modern flooding. But if you think a 2,000-year-old buried city is impressive, wait until you hear about our next discovery that's even older and more mysterious. In the mountains of Turkey lies a discovery that shouldn't exist according to everything we know about human development. It's called Çatalhöyük, and it completely changed how we think about early civilization. This settlement existed from approximately 7,500 BC to 5,600 BC and flourished around 7,000 BC. That makes it over 9,000 years old. But here's what makes it truly bizarre. The houses were built back to back with no streets in between. These single-story rectangular houses were entered and exited through holes in the roofs, which were accessible via ladders. Imagine an entire city where you had to climb onto your roof and down through a hole just to get home. But the underground secrets are even stranger. After their use, houses were dug into the ground and new houses were built on top of them, a practice that continued for 18 layers. Recent discoveries show that some residents were actually buried within their own homes in shallow graves covered with plaster. Evidence suggests some graves had been reopened to remove body parts to make room for new corpses. The dead literally lived underneath the living. And just recently, in 2025, archaeologists made another shocking discovery. They uncovered a house of the dead containing the remains of 20 individuals placed beneath the floor, suggesting ritual use. The building was a ceremonial mortuary rather than a dwelling place. But this discovery is nothing compared to what archaeologists found hidden beneath the Mediterranean. What they uncovered there defies everything we thought we knew about prehistoric capabilities. In 1902, workers in Malta were doing simple construction work, cutting cisterns for new houses. Then their tools broke through the roof of something that shouldn't have existed. What they found was the hypogeum of Hal Saflieni, a Neolithic subterranean structure dating to 3300 to 3000 BC. This remarkable structure takes us back approximately 6,000 years and was built in 3600 to 3300 BC. But here's what makes this discovery absolutely incredible. It's the world's only known prehistoric underground temple. The entire structure is constructed underground and consists of 3 superimposed levels hewn into soft limestone, with halls and chambers interconnected through a labyrinthine series of steps, lintels, and doorways. The scale of this underground temple is mind-boggling. Its soft limestone chambers, halls, and passages cover 500 square meters. Archaeologists estimate over 6,000 people were buried at the site. But the most mysterious part is what they found inside. Several chambers are still decorated with black and white checkerboards and red ochre spirals and honeycombs, the only prehistoric paintings found on the island. The acoustic properties of this underground temple are otherworldly. Standing in the hypogeum is like being inside a giant bell. At certain pitches, you feel the sound vibrating in bone and tissue as much as hearing it in the ear. Sound resonates at 110 Hz within the oracle chamber, matching the same frequency found in many other ancient chambers around the world. One of the main chambers, called the Holy of Holies, appears to be oriented such that light from the winter solstice illuminated its facade from the original opening above. The precision of this ancient engineering is staggering. The underground structure may have originated from a natural cave, but was expanded over time by cutting directly into rock with crude tools, including antlers, flint, and obsidian. But as incredible as this 6,000-year-old underground temple is, our final discovery will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about human history. In southeastern Turkey lies a discovery so revolutionary it literally rewrote the timeline of human civilization. Göbekli Tepe, meaning Belly Hill in Turkish, was built 11,600 years ago, making it older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, and older than agriculture itself. When German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt first saw the site in 1994, he knew he was looking at something that shouldn't exist, according to everything archaeologists believed about early humans. The site consists of massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some reaching 18 feet tall and weighing up to 50 tons each. These monuments feature intricate carvings of lions, foxes, scorpions, and vultures, created with nothing but stone tools. The precision is astounding. Recent computer modeling revealed the entire complex was designed using advanced geometry, with structures positioned according to an equilateral triangle pattern. Here's what makes Göbekli Tepe truly impossible. It was built by hunter-gatherers who supposedly lived in small nomadic groups with no permanent settlements. Yet constructing this massive complex would have required organizing at least 500 people for decades. The logistics alone should have been beyond their capabilities. But the mystery deepens. After spending centuries perfecting their creation, the builders deliberately buried the entire site under tons of dirt and stone. Why would anyone bury their greatest achievement? This discovery shattered a fundamental assumption about human development. For decades, archaeologists believed that agriculture came first, creating food surpluses that allowed people to build permanent structures and develop religion. Göbekli Tepe proves the opposite, that organized religion and monumental architecture may have driven the development of agriculture. The site contains at least 20 circles, but only 4 have been excavated. What other impossible secrets lie buried beneath the Turkish hills? And if hunter-gatherers could coordinate such massive construction projects, what does this say about the intelligence and organization of our ancient ancestors? These underground ruins prove that our ancestors were far more advanced than we ever imagined. From 20,000-person cities to acoustic temples to impossible megalithic complexes, the secrets buried beneath our feet continue to rewrite human history. What other incredible discoveries are still waiting underground? The answer might be closer than you think.